Alright, so I've got a new fuel pump on order for this 97 Altima. It's going to be here by next weekend. In preparation for it, I'm going to empty the gas. This car is not drivable, so I've parked it where I'm going to be working on it. And I want to empty the gas. I was going to siphon it out, but they have barriers in the tank to prevent a hose to drop down to where the gas is. So what I'm going to do is short circuit the fuel pump relay, which you can see I did with a pair of pliers here. And here's the cover that was there, and the third relay is fuel pump. So according to the top of the relay, according to the top of the relay, pins 3 and 5 are the normally open switch. That's what I'm going to want to short. Now with this shorted, it's not going to pump gas until it gets energized, and that means I have to turn on the ignition. So with that said, I've got my empty container here. I can catch up to about 2.5 gallons safely. And when I turn on the ignition, it should pump gas, and that's going to be easier than siphoning it. I need my key though. Alright, got the key. So now when I turn the ignition on, it should start pumping. But before I turn it on, I'm going to pull this out and make sure it's okay. Alright, here we go. So now it should be pumping. As you can see, it is. So I'm going to keep an eye on this, and when it gets close to the top, I'll turn the ignition off, and I'll transplant this fuel into my wife's car, or my car, and do it again. So if you do this, first of all, the reason I'm doing this is it's going to be easier to replace the fuel pump on a mostly empty tank. Last time it had a quart of a tank, which I thought was going to be enough, but still, it was a hassle. My hands were, I didn't wear gloves. I'm going to this time. I didn't wear gloves, and my hands got eaten up from the gas. Probably going to die from cancer in the future. But yeah, so if I can drain this almost completely empty, then it's going to be a lot easier, a lot safer too. So that's it for this update. Alright, so fuel gauge is saying we're approaching quarter of a tank. And this is the second pot or tank of gas, and second jug of gas that I'm filling up here. And you can see that the fuel pump is struggling. See how looks like it's pumping air or something, but it's just a weak stream. So it's a good thing we're doing this job now, because I don't think the fuel pump would have lasted for any trip of any length. So definitely indicates to me that the pump is going bad. Then again, it could be that pliers I've got in the relay socket might not be making the best connection, but still, this looks like the pump is dying. So one thing I didn't mention previously is if you're doing this on a pump you're going to reuse, make sure you stop short of draining the tank completely, because you can damage the pump if it goes dry. It needs the fuel to lubricate and to cool it. So in this case though, I'm replacing the pump, so if I let her run dry, under normal circumstances, it probably, as long as I caught it quick enough, it probably wouldn't damage it, but best not to do it at all if you want to use it again. So it's going, but it's not very strong, and it looks like it's pumping air or something, honestly. But it's getting it, and as long as it pumps, I'm going to do it.